So, have you ever seen the character from Batman known as Two-Face? Well, take a look at this image right here and tell me this isn't what Two-Face's coin looks like on both sides. Guys, I think I just hate Amy with a burning passion. Please do not let 2027 be the year of Amy. I will take the year of Metal Sonic any day of the week over the year of the Amy, okay? And I won't even like Metal Sonic as the year of, because I think Metal Sonic is just all around a boring character unless you use him in a specific way and just make him Neo Metal Sonic for the entire duration of the game. Amy is one of those characters where no matter what incarnation it is, no matter what kind of values you bring Amy with to the table, she is either overly annoying, overly in love with Sonic, overly caring about her friends only, overly hot-headed. There's just a way that she does things that I just can't enjoy as a human being. I just can't. And it's not like I hate all versions of Amy. I think Sonic Boom Amy is the least annoying Amy, and I like her a well deal because she's just not annoying, right? She's kind of like one of those weird girl bosses that somehow has the ability not to talk your ear off consistently and constantly. She's just one of those kinds of characters, and I like that about Boom Amy. But no other version of Amy captures Boom Amy because every other version of Amy is just annoying. They're just an annoying bitch. Not an annoying bitch, but you know what I mean. Support women's rights. Anyway, we're talking about Metal Sonic, okay? Metal Sonic is cold, calculating. He's meant to be everything that Sonic is supposed to be, but Robotnik failed the assignment by making him completely silent and making him unable to portray Eggman. You know, if Metal Sonic was actually the real Sonic, and they can explore this in the movie. Hopefully they explore this in the movie. Every time Metal Sonic doesn't have Eggman controlling him, he gets insanely close to killing Sonic. Every single time, without fail. Sonic Heroes, he was way too close. He was insanely close to just killing Sonic then and there, but Sonic had friends. So why wouldn't Metal Sonic just build his own friend base and then we go from there? Oh wait, because they don't want to do anything with that. They don't. They genuinely do not want to do anything with Metal Sonic. That's actually legitimately cool. But I just hate Amy so much. I hate Amy so much that I just move towards Metal Sonic every time I see him and Amy in the same room. I go damn son, Metal Sonic and Amy doing the thing. Hell yeah, I love that tango, dog. I love it. I love it so much because Metal Sonic is just that fucking cooler than Amy. Now, I need to explain exactly what I don't like about Amy instead of just generalizing like I did earlier. Imagine you get into a Sonic game and every time you see Amy, she's just an annoying individual, right? Whether it's her being overly caring about her friends like she does in the newer Sonic games, spread love around the world. Who the fuck came up with that idea? Who came up with that idea? Who in this world came up with the idea, oh, let's spread love around the world? Bro, that is so overly broad that what that could mean is I should be trapped in someone's basement, okay? I should be trapped in somebody's fucking basement because that's what love is. Love is being trapped inside of a basement. Dude, that's annoying, okay? That's just annoying. You're being overly broad. That's just annoying. Whether it's in Sonic Heroes where it's Sonic, you'll have to marry me after I force you into a submission by beating the shit out of you. And who thought that was a good idea? That is just a bad idea. Why would you do that? It's oh, it's happening to a man, so it's okay. Now I know they're fucking cartoon characters, okay? But if we want adult subjects to be handled inside of a series, maybe we should handle the series like fucking adults. It just takes you out of the moment when a character who is supposed to be basically the heart of the team, goes out and starts saying shit you should marry me, Sonic, and stuff like that. It just gives off a vibe that I don't think people really think about, especially when you think, hey, this series is supposed to be more geared towards an all ages demographic, okay, maybe we should gear this thing more towards kids if we want to put things like that in the game. Genuinely, that's just my opinion, okay? In Sonic Battle, they do this thing with Amy where she's like super fat. Like Amy is super fat. Does that sound right to you? Does that sound right to you? Do you think Amy is fat? No, she isn't even fat in the game that they're talking about. So like, who thought that that was a good idea? They take it to an extent that's like kind of crazy. Let's be real. And the last one I wanted to talk about is the most pressing one. Sonic Adventure 1 Amy is genuinely one of the few times where I find Amy's character so wildly indistinct from what she is in the future that I find it insane, right? Having fiery passion is great, but like, wouldn't you be saying that like Amy doesn't care about innocent lives because she spends most of the game running away from Zero instead of immediately smashing him after feeling the love of the bird in her hands? I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. Okay, so let's be incredibly clear about this. I hate no other characters, no other female characters in the Sonic series. Okay, let's be very clear about this. I'm not sure if it's because they don't get that much spotlight, or if it's because, like, all the other female characters just have wildly different personalities. I just find Amy's personality in particular to just be wildly annoying. When I see it in real life, it's not annoying. When I see it on this pink character hedgehog, okay, it is annoying. I don't know what kind of chemical X kind of manifestation they use in order to make her this kind of character. Actually, I do dislike another character, Princess Elise. I dislike that motherfucker with the heart of me, okay? I just don't. Okay, bro, that should have been Sally Acorn. Anyway, back to Metal Sonic. Metal Sonic is a character that I dislike because he's not in his Neo Metal form a lot. Okay, he was only in his Neo Metal form for one game, and after that, he was kind of just manually controlled. He was so controlled, in fact, that I think that he's not even the character he's supposed to be, but that is actually a good reason, right? You have, oh, he betrays me because he wants to be like Sonic, but he doesn't have the freedom to be like Sonic. So if he doesn't have the freedom to be like Sonic, well then he's less powerful than he would be if he had the freedom to be like Sonic. But if he had the freedom to be like Sonic, he would just, you know, go any way other than just being Sonic at every turn. Like, he's trying to get faster than Sonic to destroy him, he starts absorbing all that shit, and then he becomes not Sonic anymore. He just doesn't. He's so tied to his will to destroy Sonic that he's basically Vegeta from Dragon Ball. He's the real Vegeta, not Shadow. He's the real Vegeta. Well, technically, they're both technically just different sides of Vegeta, but like, they keep leading on to this Vegeta aspect of Shadow when they should just take Metal Sonic and lean into that. I'm just saying, like, Shadow is just annoyed by Sonic. Metal Sonic wants to be Sonic. I feel like this is like two completely different things, and the more we spend time trying to make them similar, the more time is spent being stupid. And I think we should change that by making Metal Sonic his own year where we actually grow the character, right? You play as Metal Sonic, and at the end of the game, he becomes his Neo form and he stops following Dr. Eggman. That could be the perfect fucking game, right? And then from there on out, we have the games alternate between Metal Sonic and Eggman, because then once we have two characters that we can bounce back and forth between, we have the innate ability to just make both characters less stale or more stale, depending on how badly we write the characters. But Ian Flint's a great writer. He's the greatest writer on earth, smarter than Tolkien, okay? So, like, he's the greatest writer on earth, and I believe in him so much that I just genuinely think that if we took him and we plopped him down somewhere else, we could literally make Metal Sonic a household name in under like one movie and a game. Metal Sonic without his Neo form is still the potential villain. And with that being said, you have to understand this one singular concept, and it's the idea that if Metal Sonic is as good as Sonic, Eggman not calling on him all the time is like a big plot hole for every game Metal Sonic doesn't appear in. It just is. And you need to contend with the idea that Metal Sonic isn't as good as Sonic, right? The reason why we contend with the idea that Shadow and Sonic are actually as powerful as each other is because Shadow has his own character motivations that lead him to go doing other things, right? So that's why, because every time Sonic does something morally questionable, Shadow just isn't immediately there trying to absorb and like annihilate him from the the sidelines like, oh, you have destroyed this other world. Why am I not trying to like blast you? Because I'm over here fighting the Black Arms and I'm not paying attention to you right now, right? And then you have other things like the idea that Metal Sonic would be more cunning than Eggman, Sage would have the ability to shut them down, the Zeddy can't really get involved with Metal Sonic because they would just take him over, and like you have to ideally just think about all those ideas and put them into a melting pot and go like, yeah, a Metal Sonic story in the modern day most likely wouldn't work if Metal Sonic went outside of his comfort zone too much. So you would have to stay within the Sonic cast and Metal Sonic himself, and then you would have to leave out the Zeddy at every turn, and then you would have to leave out Dr. Eggman and Sage because they would just be like, oh, we put self-destruct buttons inside of both Metal Sonic and all of his surrounding Batniks. Because why wouldn't you do that if you think Metal Sonic could potentially betray you eventually? So there's like so many plot holes and potential issues with that, and you can write around these issues, but like a lot of these issues you either cannot write around or you will have to re-explain why certain things don't happen in like a year of Metal Sonic. And then a year of Amy is just annoying. I just don't want a year of Amy. I really have issues with both Metal Sonic and Amy. I have more issues with Amy because she's just annoying to watch and annoying to listen to, but I have problems with Metal Sonic because if you give me Metal Sonic but don't give me his Neo form, he's just the potential villain. I would never believe that Metal Sonic, not in his Neo form, has any ability to like fight the Sonic cast on equal footing or equal ground. That's just not a person I think I can be. It would just suspend my entire disbelief. But thank you for watching the video. Hope you have a beautiful day. I just wanted to rant about Metal Sonic and Amy because holy shit.